With Halloween around the corner, I thought this was a perfect time to do this video. Have you ever been to a beach that's haunted? A haunted lighthouse? What about a haunted shipwreck? In this video, I'm going to show you some of each of these, proving that the ocean can not only be a total place of serenity and calm, but also a place of a little bit of fear. Chuuk Lagoon is an atoll in the Central Pacific, about 1,800 kilometers northeast of New Guinea. It's also known as Chuuk Lagoon, one of the best wreck diving sites in the world. On February 17, 1944, the US Navy did a massive air and surface attack on the Imperial Japanese Navy here during World War II. As a result, 47 ships and 270 aircraft were sent to the bottom of the lagoon, with over 1,700 lives lost. Many human remains were discovered in the lagoon in the 1970s, and over 400 bodies were brought to the surface for proper burials. There are still over 1,300 bodies that still remain scattered among the wreckage. Divers have come here from around the world to explore the massive underwater shipwreck graveyard and have reported hearing distant voices, engines revving, and metal grinding, as well as seeing strange shadows lurking near the wreckage. It was built in 1940 and began its fourth and final voyage in June 1941, carrying equipment such as steam locomotives, armored cars, and artillery to British soldiers in northern Africa. It was bombed by a German plane in October that same year, killing 9 out of 42 crew members on board and quickly sinking the ship within 10 minutes into the Red Sea. Its discovery is credited to Jacques Cousteau, who documented his visit to the wreck in 1955, but it wasn't until the 1990s that it became a hugely popular wreck diving destination. Divers that explore this site have often reported seeing shadowy figures aboard the wreckage, along with hearing machinery running in the water. This is one of the most controversial wreck dive sites out there due to the tragic loss of life on this ship. It was a car and passenger vessel and was embarking from Saudi Arabia with pilgrims on board in the middle of the night in 1991 when it collided with a reef and sank very quickly into the Red Sea within 10 to 20 minutes. 470 people lost their lives and only 180 survived. The remains of the victims were respectfully removed by the Egyptian Navy, but it's believed that there are still more bodies that have never been recovered. Although many divers choose to still go explore this wreckage, others believe it should be left alone due to the number of lost lives that occurred here. Those that have explored the wreck have seen numerous personal items still perfectly preserved, such as suitcases, bicycles, TVs, children's toys, wheelbarrows, cars, and even lifeboats. They have also claimed to see shapes forming out of the corner of their eyes when within the wreck itself. Built in 1808, it's one of the oldest existing lighthouses in the Great Lakes, one of Toronto's oldest buildings, and the second oldest lighthouse in Canada. It's best known for the demise of its first keeper, John Paul Rademuller, who mysteriously vanished in January 1815. There are different versions of what may have happened to him, but the general belief is that he was murdered by some soldiers that had come to buy his home-brewed beer, and his body dismembered and buried in a few graves near the lighthouse. His ghost is said to still haunt the site to this day. Built in 1889 and located in the Big Sur area of Monterey, California, this lighthouse has the honor of being one of the top 10 most haunted lighthouses in the United States. From 1899 until 1975, families lived and worked on top of Point Sur, but today it's nothing but a ghost town, open for walking tours only. There were many shipwrecks that occurred along the coastline below, with several people perishing over the years as a result. It is said that the spirits of those that died still haunt the lighthouse and its surrounding buildings, one of which is notably a tall man in dark blue 19th century attire seen lingering around the tower. Others claim to have heard voices, one of which is believed to be a former keeper's wife telling her daughter to go upstairs to bed. Built in 1875, Tevennec Lighthouse is located off the western coast of France in the middle of the sea upon a rocky island and is fully exposed to gale force winds and 70-foot waves. Its first keeper was stationed alone and quickly went mad from the isolation and began hearing voices telling him to leave. It was after he left that it was determined there should be 2 keepers there to preserve their own sanity. In the years shortly after, 4 keepers had all died at the lighthouse, all deemed suspicious or unexplainable deaths. Crucifixes were installed and a priest was called out to cleanse the island, but when a storm destroyed part of the lighthouse while a keeper's wife was giving birth, it was decided to make Tevennec Lighthouse fully automated as early as 1910. To this day, local fishers in the area say they see shapes in shabby clothing in the vicinity of the lighthouse, which they believe to be the past keepers. Located just south of Squamish, BC, Britannia Beach lies along the Sea to Sky Highway along Howe Sound and is rich in history. Between 1915 and 1921, both a landslide and massive flood destroyed parts of this region, resulting in 37 deaths. Several places in this region are known to be haunted with spirits, including the general store, a gift shop, and a coffee shop. The Chieftain Hotel, which is now known as the Crash Hotel Squamish, is also reportedly haunted. People have claimed to feel intense heat within the hotel, even when all heat sources were shut off. One person claimed seeing a spirit of a woman very elegantly dressed that seemed very warm and friendly. Located just south of Cannon Beach on the Oregon coast, this beach has a creepy past. It is said that in the 16th century, Spanish sailors shipwrecked near this beach and brought ashore a chest of Spanish gold and carried it up a mountain to bury it. Legend has it that these sailors murdered a man and buried his body with the treasure in order to deter others from stealing it. Some say more than one person was murdered and that the spirits of these victims still haunt the trails through the area to this day. Another phenomenon seen by many here are piles of stones that mysteriously appear overnight down on the beach with no explanation as to how they got there. Dumas Beach lies along the Arabian Sea on the west coast of India. It is known by many of the locals there to be haunted, and people are actually forbidden to be on this beach after dark. This beach is said to have once been used as a Hindu burial ground and is now supposedly possessed by several haunting spirits that never left the region. It is said that the black sand found on this beach is actually a mixture of white sand and cremated remains of people that had burials there. It has been claimed by many that as soon as the moon appears at night, paranormal activities begin. There have been reports of tourists and locals going missing from here at night. One man was found dead on the beach with no explanation why, and others have claimed to hear people laughing or crying in the distance when there was no evidence of anyone else present in the area at the time. So, what do you guys think? Do you think there's truth to any of those claims, or do you think it's all just a bit of a hoax? Have you experienced anything kind of creepy near the seaside somewhere? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys have a great Halloween, be safe out there, and I'll see you on the next one.